a 280 freelance steamroller based on a Durham and North Yorkshire steamroller. A couple of stocks bridge not too far away from here. And a lot like Michael Hurst. Following that is number 23, a miniature traction engine known as Savage, or made of Savage, called Little Saxon. Built in 2021 this one, and that's come from Brentine, owned by Peter Hurst. 24 is going back to Comic Box, owned by Les and Sue Riley, and McLaren road locomotive 40 scale, that is 2015. That's come all the way from Stoke on Trent. Number 12. Stephen Weaver. Waiting Coral agricultural traction engine built in 2019, known as the Clear. Following that is number 15. 4.5-inch model steam traction engine, Coral steam traction built in 1984. Owned by Graham Jackson, weighted in at half a ton, and that's the front wheel. Verse 43, an 80 quarter scale ABP Matador, and that's coming from Alpha. Next up, number 17, goes back to Coach Box, Phil Roberts, with his 4-inch Burrell Twin Crank Compound Road logo, built in 2022, known as Discovery. Next up, number 36, Harry Deering with his 4-inch Fowler A9, built in 2016, known as Molly Joker. Number 4 is back to Coach Box right now. By Peter Michelle Shaw, 4-inch agricultural engine built in 2007. Next up, right over 41. From all the way to Lincoln, a Foster 4-inch scale traction engine built in 1990. This engine was built in 1990. The driver's father and the driver have done a lot of restoration work on it to bring it to standard today. It was retuned in 2007 and the engine is 36 years old this year. So it's a 2-inch scale, scratch built. Alpine Royal Chipset built in 2024, known as Ruby. Just back to tractor right now. Couple of work and a Russian SG tractor. Got the year 2000. Run by Daniel Newton. Half-size Coral. Half-size paperwork. Unfortunately, not in my possession. Next, Kevin Baldwin with his 4-inch Foster compound. Next up, Richard Smith from Crofton in Wakefield with his 4.5-inch scale on a steam wagon, C-type, Coral Brothers style tanker, Sweet Dyson style track trailer. built in 1997. Number 8, followed by Paul Morehouse. A Galley 4-inch, built to steam, built in 2023. John Bruce, just coming from Lincoln, with his Foster 4-inch scale traction engine. Let's get these parts in. We have to go from the arena so that you can come in. Our team engine. Get up close and personal. That with our drivers, owners and operators. Next to the Holland, Morris. And so we got down to 32. Followed by Ricky and Christy Hodgson of Hoyland in Barnsley with a 3-inch option traction engine built in 2013. Another half size, they get past it right now on the 6-inch scale. And once again, unfortunately, they don't have the paperwork for that half size. Next up, we've got Brendan Pierce with his Foster agricultural engine built in 1999, and they fetched it from in Lincoln.
Just a bit of a warning, it's going to get loud. Hold your horses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let them go. Down there. Thank you to all our owners and operators for making them into the arena, especially in this heat. Of course, without you we wouldn't have a show, so it is great to see you in the arena. They're going to be doing a couple of laps of honour and then returning to their stationary position. So once have enough steam, it would be great if you could go around the arena a couple of times. And there goes the half size heading up the parade. And as you can see, they got a fair lick of these. And an engine very similar to that one in 2020 did complete Land's End to John O'Groats. Did it for charity. So it is capable of going long distance. Got the little 2-inch roller just going past the commentary box there. And despite its size, still capable of doing a lap of honour and hauling a drive around as well. Get numerous different scales, ranging right from 2-inch up to 6-inch here in the arena today. So as we say goodbye to our miniature team, we're going to be welcoming a large team within the next few minutes. About 1:15, in about 10 minutes time, the large team will be entering the arena. Plenty of things to see and do up and down at the showground. Not just here in the arena, but further afield as well. We've got the steam horse gallopers, and that is powered by steam, not an electrically powered ride. So take a bit of time, go and see them there, have a ride on that rather thrilling steam gallopers ride over there in the old time fun fair. Got we used to call it a playpen, but demonstration area down at the bottom where some of the exhibits will be buzzing about during the course of the day. We've got the classic cars right over the top of the hill and the motorbikes. So go beyond the classic trucks, have a look at those, and then the motorbikes and cars are over the hill. Miniature team will be returning to their stationary positions, and they are over sort of that direction behind the trade stand. Plenty of bargains to be had on the trade stands as well. So it's ideal time to get a little bit of lunch at Evie's Kitchen over by the main gate, serving a fantastic array of burgers, hot dogs, chips, everything that you may wish to choose from up there, Evie's Kitchen. And somewhere, I'm not quite sure where it is, they've got the LED man next to Eco Products, and they sell, I think that's them there, they sell various bits of clothing and also LED lighting for your shed, for your house, all at remarkably affordable prices. And in large circulation, especially in our world, and Derek is there responsible for being their technical editor. He will respond to any queries that come in via that publication, and of course, certainly more than qualified to sit here and talk to you about what is about to enter the arena over the course of the next hour. So I'm going to pass you over to Derek now, and I hope you have a wonderful hour.
So, thank you very much, Ian, for that, as he has very kindly introduced my steamroller. It is a Naval and Porter steamroller made in Rochester in Kent, or actually on the other side of the River Medway, so it's actually manufactured in Strood in Kent. It's come into my life, as it were, a long time ago, prior to my getting married, and consequently it's grown up with me and my children have grown up with it. So, being driven by my number 2 son Dean at the moment, and no 25, it's been driven by my friend Andrew at the moment, with his daughter Sarah at the steering wheel. Built in 1915, and that has been followed by a Fowler traction engine, owned by the Reverend Peter Green, who lives in Lincolnshire, and it's a Fowler agricultural engine, built in 1899, not quite the oldest of the engines here at the event today, and followed very closely by a slight break in there, followed closely by a Garrett Showman's tractor, a small traction engine, built to the fairgrounds. As you can see on the front of it, there is a dynamo. The engine provided the wherewithal to drive from the flywheel to the dynamo, and the dynamo of course then provided electricity for all rides for the showman. Another steam power coming along then behind that one. To all intents and purposes, it looks like a German-built machine by a firm of Henninger Darmstadt. But in actual fact, was actually built in the UK. It was built by Garrett at Leiston, and it was badge engineered for a German customer, Henninger from Darmstadt. Owned by Laurie Turner and his son. It's been in the UK for quite a while now, and it's had major work done to it over a long period. Phil Turner is driving it. Normally kept at Guiseley, but Phil has major associations with the Sheffield area, having been involved with various cadet corps for quite a long time. Another steamroller, another Aveling steamroller. They are quite prevalent, are Aveling steamrollers, because Aveling manufactures more steamrollers in the UK than any other steamroller manufacturer. This one is owned by Adam Hollatz. He's only been the owner of it for a relatively short time. It was previously owned, as the awning side says, by Kidderminster Rural District Borough Council, and it's called Silver Cloud. Built in 1922, it's of the piston valve type. Labelling's changed from slide valves to piston valve in around about 1920 to make it easier to manufacture, because they didn't need to lap in a slide piston valve. You have to lap a slide valve in, but they were able to manufacture piston valve machine straight from the blade, and it made it in a situation where they could manufacture a large number in a relatively short time. Another product from Leeds is following on. It's a ploughing engine. Ploughing engines were built usually in pairs for ploughing one side of the field and the other side of the field, and it's been driven by Sparky. We all know him as Sparky. His real name is John. It's owned by the Clare family from Turn Lindsay. They have another ploughing engine which is incapacitated just at the time. Can't appear here this weekend. They usually bring both of them together to the event and give us a ploughing demonstration of haulage using the large diameter winch beneath the boiler, because that was the item that dragged the plough from one end of the field to the, or one side of the field to the other, and then changed the direction of the plough, and the other engine at the far end of the field took it back again. The large noise that you can hear just passing the commentary point is that Garrett steamroller, built, badged by Henninger of Darmstadt in Germany, obviously needs a little bit of attention to the gears, because it's making quite a large noise at the moment, unfortunately, but I'm sure that Phil Turner will get around to doing that in due course. The tractor behind the power ploughing engine belongs to Paul Bloom, who lives near Retford in North Nottinghamshire. It's a 4CD tractor, 4 being the horsepower, C being the compound, and it was built in 1918, registered location where it was built in Leiston, registered in, therefore, in Suffolk. BJ. Following that small tractor is one of the biggest engines on the field, or not the biggest engine on the field today. Marston's Road Services, as you can see on the side of the awning there, and it's got a crane on the front. It's one of the heaviest parallel road locomotives ever built. It weighed around 10 tonnes, maybe 12 tonnes by the time you put the crane on it. Crane incidentally was manufactured especially by Smiths at Rodley. It weighs up to somewhere around 12 to 14 tonnes. Quite a big machine to handle, but a very versatile machine, because as you can see with the hook on the front, it was able to lift large weights and quite easily to move around with those weights in days gone by. A nice wave there from Sparky. Thank you very much indeed, Gordon, for that. Very kind. The Airline steamroller coming along with the interesting smoke coming out of the chimney is in the ownership, not very long, of Adam Horrocks. Adam, for a steam family. He lives at the moment in Rugby. The roller coming slightly downhill now with the short canopy is called English Rose. My steamroller, my own steamroller, is called White Rose. Is there a family connection? Well, yes there is, because this particular steamroller, again enabling, was built in 1884. It's the oldest steamroller on the rally field today. It weighs 10 tons. And it features something which was prevalent at the time, the type of steering. It's a bobbin steering, commonly referred to as bobbin steering because it's on the outside of the firebox, owned by Ian Caulfield and Denise Caulfield, who then in North Derbyshire. It's had a considerable amount of work done on it over the time, but Ian has owned it, and it's looking rather resplendent now. Originally it had an awning of that nature, but it spent quite a long time without an awning in the north of Scotland. It belongs to T.C. Stewart in Aberdeen. We bought there at auction by Tom Varley, a well-known steam person from over in Lancashire, and eventually Ian was able to buy it from a gentleman on Field Moor. And he spent a lot of time and all the money having it refurbished, and it looks splendid today. Last year I was pleased to see the Fowler coming along almost at the commentary position now. Fowler built in Leeds, of course, at the steam plough work. This particular one was purchased, I think, last year. It was the first time it has appeared here. Called Oriana. And it belongs to the Saunders family. Tom, I think, is driving it. Maybe his father. Can't see. Oh yes. The original manufacturer, the original owner of the machine is the Lowe family, all its contractors. And since last year, someone has spent an awful lot of time polishing the machine because it looks rather more splendid than it did last year. But having said that, because it didn't hold it for very long when it came here at particular steam in 2025. There's now another steamroller going past because of the quality line. It's all daughter and father. Father is actually Boxer though, is involved with the National Factory Trust. It's a background. We've now got another Lincoln built product, which is a faster traction engine. Called Spriggs, as you can see on the roof, owned by the Boswell family. Been in the Boswell family for a long time, and looking rather resplendent here as it is at the moment. On the boiler barrel, there's a rather nice logo, I can call it that, which says William Foster and Company. Foster's was the people who actually manufactured going back to World War I, the first tanks. And later examples of that manufacturer actually have a tank as part of the logo. We now have another powering engine, boiler barrel, has a big winding drum underneath. This belongs to the Pantry family, and it's engine owned by Phil Pantry, built in 1919, just after World War I, and is still capable of doing a job of work for which it was intended. The family do have its twin, its pair, so to say. In other words, the one machine that it was worked with, and consequently they have done ploughing demonstrations in days gone by with their two engines. The other engine is consecutively numbered. This one is 15413 of 1919, and the other machine is one number after it. Coming down the hill, on my right hand side, is a Burrell steamroller. Burrells were built in Thetford, in Norfolk. This one was owned by Isaac Ball at Walls in Lancashire, and it's got a typical Isaac Ball canopy and also an Isaac Ball toolbox on the back. It may be or may not be a coincidence that the toolbox on the back of my own steamroller looks very, very similar to this one. I don't know there's any particular specific link between the two, but I'd probably like to think that there was. It is, in the scheme of things, a single cranked compound. In other words, it's got two cylinders, a large single cylinder into which the steam goes first, second, and first are all going into the smaller cylinder at 45 degrees above that one. That means that you can use the steam twice during the course of its generation and expulsion up the chimney. Therefore, it's a lot more economical to do it that way, and it costs less to build and more economical to use. We've got another compound steamroller coming down the hill now. It's a maroon one, as was the last one. This one belongs to Laurie Fletcher, and it's another Evelyn. As I say, Evelyn's are very prevalent in the UK and elsewhere around the world because they were built in large numbers. Evelyn probably built over 12,000 steamrollers, certainly more than any other manufacturer put together in the UK. Laurie Fletcher's Evelyn, with its E registration, was used in Staffordshire originally. Laurie's had quite a bit of work done to it over the years, and it was supplied with an original Evelyn awning, steel awning. There were four types of awnings. There was a steel short, a steel long, and also a wood short, and a long. I think we've got examples of virtually all of them here on the field today. Laurie's is a simple compound. In other words, it's not like the Burrell, it's just one large cylinder and one small cylinder. It does say Rochester on it, although the fact is, like I said earlier, they weren't built in Rochester, they were built on the other side of the Medway in Stroud. So the British people get all uptight about that. But why Evelyn used Rochester was, of course, because it's a much more well-known location than having a castle, a cathedral, and associations with a certain author by the name of Charles Dickens that most English people have heard of. We've now got David Hare's, another Evelyn, supplied in 1915, or thereabouts, to the Northumberland Rural District Council, passed on to North Riding County Council when they had the major reorganisation in 1931. And David's owned it for quite a long time now. He lives in the Bradford area and looking after it very well. Another Evelyn, this one another compound, similar to the one that just passed the Coventry point, but this one with a rather horrendously looking silly face on the front of it. I brought it to be George. Anybody that knows George, the grumpy steamroller, will obviously remember George from Thomas the Tank Engine tales. Originally supplied to Bournemouth, hence the EL registration. Not being owned by the gentleman all that long, so he's getting used to owning the steamroller. Another Evening, of course. I saw it for the first time last weekend at MMR Rally. The one passing the Coventry point at the moment is another Lincoln built machine. A Ruston Proctor in Lincoln, owned by the Sorry, my page blew over. And sorry, the Ruston Proctor is owned by the Palmer family, and it was built in 1907. Ruston Proctor became in 1918 Ruston and Hornsby, and consequently changed the name. Of course, on the various workplaces, etc., that weren't there. I've missed one out, I'm sorry, but the roller just passing the Coventry point is an Aveling, another Aveling, 8788, built in 1916, and it's rather interestingly registered in Cumberland, owned by Don Clark, the BSD. There are two rollers on the field today, both with registrations AO, and both being involved in steamrolling in Cumberland. The second one is the maroon one passing the Coventry point now, called Elizabeth. That was manufactured by Garrett's of Leiston. In 1910, and it was supplied to Southend. It was commandeered by the government for the 1914-1918 war and disappeared. We don't know whether it actually went to France or whether it stayed in the UK, used for example in manufacturing or making runways for the newly aircraft that were used in the First World War. Abigail. It's followed by another tractor was rebuilt, Abigail, and Narrow was rebuilt from the little bits, and it looks very fine at the moment, certainly. Owned by Abigail a very large number of bits, not a big house as I said, you're right, and it's a foster tractor, another one built in Lincoln in 1904. That is followed by a Fowler tractor, Fowler, owned by David Cook, and works for Oliver Partington in Blossom. Number 3. Oliver Partington owned quite a number of tractors like that and used them for their business, which was manufacturing weaving, I think it was, and it remained there quite a bit. Hutchinson Engineering Services, it says on the awning sign of the borough, owned by Isaac Elston, driven by him. It's an ex-Isaac Ball roller, number 3220, and built in 1917. Did I say 17? 1919. Fowler Road Local following that, a rather large Fowler Road Local, 10 to 12 tons, J registration, which indicates it was registered up north in the Newcastle Northumberland area. Owned by the Marriage family, built in 1914, and it's named Empress. Now the story is that around about the time it was named, there was a major maritime disaster. Quite a large number of people drowned as a result of the vessel concerned, and it was named originally Empress of Empress of Ireland. As a result of the troubles in the Irish island, as it were, it was the nameplate was chopped in two, and it was reduced to Empress rather than call it Empress of Ireland, as a tribute to those people who were no longer with us. Arena, and give you 10 minutes or so to the members of the public to come into the arena and speak with the driver, ask them questions if you so wish, and then we'll clear the arena after the traditional whistle blown to allow Ian to come back and then talk to you about the commercial vehicles. So we've got, I haven't counted them, but we've got something like 32 road steam engines on the field, but I have this one because there is another one on the field which is not in the arena at the moment. That is a portable engine. Portable engines were in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Thank you very much indeed for all that.
Operators and drivers for fetching them into the arena. I'm sure you can imagine that sat aboard or even stood aboard one of these fantastic machines in weather like today. Yeah, they do it for fun, but it's also pretty warm. So well done and thank you to all the people driving and steering these fantastic steam engines. If you'd like to ride one of these a little bit later on, we do offer the opportunity to have a ride on the large steam engines at the end of the classic cars, so it'll be about 4 o'clock this afternoon. There will be an opportunity to ride some of these steam engines around the arena. It doesn't happen very often at the steam fairs, however this is one of them where it does. So keep an ear out for the announcements. It will be about 4 o'clock-ish this afternoon. There will be an opportunity to ride some of these steam engines. And we do it purely for charity. We'll support a local charity and we ask for a donation. And for a donation of your choice, you'll get the opportunity to have a buzz around the arena on one of these engines. Now we do ask the drivers as to how many passengers they are comfortable to take. Some may just say 1. Some say 2, usually an adult and a child. So unfortunately the whole family can't climb aboard. But do come and see us a little bit later on. Be prepared to ride on your own. And as we all know, in the world of red tape and health and safety, this kind of thing is dying out, so we might not be doing it forever. So if you would like the opportunity to ride one of these, come and see us a little bit later on at the end of classic cars. So we're going to be welcoming commercial vehicles into the arena fairly soon. Hopefully our stewards have made their way up to get them. I think that's at 2:15, and then at 3 o'clock we're going to have cars in the arena. Once we've got the cars in and out, that is when we will be having the steam engine ride right here in the arena. It only happens today, doesn't happen tomorrow. Here at Sheffield, we have so many large steam in one place. A few steam rallies in the area, or certainly within 20 or 30 miles of here. They only attract about half as many as we've got here. It's great to see this wonderful collection of large steam engines. are running ever so slightly late, but that really doesn't matter because we're on steam time. I'm hoping we're going to get some commercials into the arena. They usually line up ready. There appears to be none. So this slight delay is a slight positive in the hope that our stewards are getting a few, hopefully many, commercial vehicles rallied round.